What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday. We got one more day and then we're good. So today's topic is going to be changing habits. Let's talk about it. So as usual, I like to start with saying thank you to everybody. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sending me messages. I got some new messages today. Yesterday was a highlight of this whole journey so far. I think we're in our second week. Those messages hit me. And if you didn't see that video yesterday, go back and check that out. It's called Curb Them Fears. Speaking of that, I wrote that on my hand and I can't, it's been all day. I've been trying to take it off. If you're going to write something on you, don't use a permanent marker. That stuff don't come off. I mean, you'll be scrubbing and scrubbing all day long. On that same note, that's how I got this topic today. In life, we have habits. We have habits that we're not aware of that leads into other things. We have stuff that needs to change. To change ourselves, we got to break those habits. We got to change that. We got to scrub that away. Kind of like these. I was looking, I'm like, God dang, man. What? It's a permanent marker. How do I get this off of myself? Then I realized I did it to myself, I'm like, I can't yell at anybody. I can't tell my daughters, hey, someone swapped the marker. No, because I did it to myself. I wrote it and I did the little thing here and it's still there. So it reminds me that, don't use a permanent marker because it won't come off. You got to scrub hard. You got to put a lot of work into that. I think you know where I'm going with this. So straight off the back, I'm going to be real with you. I've already been sharing a lot of stuff that I haven't shared with a lot of people out there. But some stuff people want to share, some people don't want to share. And I understand that. I'm just an open book. With people that really know me, like my kids, my family, my friends, I'm as open as I can be. Because that's the real me. If I start shutting these doors and closing in, then I become someone that I'm not. And that's just real talk. It took me a while to realize that. So before I got married, I used to live in California. San Diego, Logan Heights, Chula Vista. Some pretty rough neighborhoods. I went from one rough neighborhood growing up in San Antonio, moving over here. And when you grow up in like a hood like that, even hoods, you're like, well, it's not as bad as that, Oh, yeah, there's a ghetto bird and this and that, but at least they're not shooting down the doors. So it's like baby steps as you're climbing the ladder of life or whatever the case is. But so I had friends out there and, we used to party a lot. And I got hooked on something, I can't elaborate too much because I don't want YouTube shutting me down in my second week of doing these vlogs. I can imagine I'll be like, I'm on this kick, I'm enjoying it, and all of a sudden here comes YouTube police. I can't, so I think you could follow along with me on this journey. So I partied a lot and, did some stuff, this and there. And I joined a punk rock band up after the Marine Corps, and that didn't help. That increased the alcohol, that increased everything else coming in, things I shouldn't be doing, all that. It just on top. I look back on that, I'm like, before, like, I would be kind of ashamed, I guess. But then I look back now, and now that I'm older, I look back at those things and things in my other past, things in the Marine Corps, things and when I used to get in trouble, all the schools and all that stuff, and I look at it with a different eye. I look at it with a different perception. My lenses have changed. I don't look at it anymore and be like, hang my head down. Because now that's become a testimony. Don't worry, I'm not going to go all preacher and all that stuff like that. It doesn't have to be all religious, A testimony can be anything. The testimony for me was that I can make a change. From what I was back then to what I am now, it's night and day. I'm just going to go straight off the cuff here. So if I mess up some words and stuff like that, I just want to be as real as I can be. So I'm not going to edit this and all that stuff. So if I mess up, bear with me. Doing these things like this, like I said, I want to be unpolished. I just want everything to come out. I want you to see the emotions. I want you to see everything that I'm talking about. But anyways, before we go off track. So, I met my wife, and she's like, hey, come back to Fort Worth, Move to Fort Worth. So I moved, but I didn't break that addiction over there. I brought it here with me. And we would go to places that just inhibited that, Now there goes a train. Earlier it was a dog, now it's a train. So there I was at these parties, and my wife is inside and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, you know what? Hear it. Let's have a good time. And just continued. I didn't break that habit. Because in my mind, I'm like, hey, I'm good. It's not gonna hurt anybody. But it does, It hurts people, so. But anyways, moving forward, try not to make it so dark now all of a sudden. Moving forward, I remember I was at the hospital and one of my daughters were going to be born. And I said, hey, you know what, God? Bring my daughter into this world healthy. Please. I'll give you anything you need. And I gave that up. I said, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's make a deal. I made a deal. I'm always making a deal. I'm like, I'll give you this if you do that. That's not how it works. But anyways, that's my story. So I said, let's make a deal. You bring my daughter into this world. I promise you I'll give that up. And I did. I gave it up. And I think that's when the world was just on fire. Like, whoa, they just lost William. Oh my God. So we would continue to go to these parties. But I had already made that decision. I made a strong decision saying, hey, I'm going to give this up. I'm not doing this anymore. And then there you go. They're like, hey, tomatela. And it was like I had this little monito right here, just like, you can do it. You can do it. So they're just, hey, you know what? Let's have a good time. It's a good time. Let's do this. I'm like, nah, I'm done with that, bro. I'm done. I can't do that no more. I don't want to do that no more. I made it to one day. And then we went right back to it again. The next following weekend, another party, another whatever is going on. Boom, they pull it out. Hey, boom, here you go, man. It's yours. Take it. You can have it. All of a sudden, there's not one monito. There's like two of them. They're like, yeah, take it. The little party is going on right here. I'm like, yeah, maybe I can, They start coming into you. That's how it goes. When you want to make changes, you want to break habits. It's like everything is there. They're like, it's like when I was on those previous videos, I've been in the gym. I'm on a diet right now. Other days, nobody has anything to eat. And I had to go and find food and stuff like that. And I'd be like, hey, anybody got any chocolate? The week I want to start making change, everybody brings in nachos, tacos, cookie crumbles. I put the picture up, you know? And I forgot to even tell you guys they had a big old candy bar section. You know, all the candy bars on this table. They're like, take it. You want another? I'm like, no. They're like, I have Almond Joy. And, oh my God, dude. Almond Joy is my favorite. I don't know about you guys. You can comment whatever your favorite candy bar. Anyways, we're going off track. So come on back. Let's curb it back. So not only did I have like 2 of them on me at the time, then they started getting angry. They started, hey, mandilon, this and that, and this and that. You're just not no fun anymore. I became not fun. Became outside of the party. You know, I wasn't in the mix of the guys hanging out because I wouldn't participate. But I couldn't break that. Now, every year my daughter has her birthday, I'm reminded of that promise that I made. I'm reminded that I had to keep that commitment, that I had to make that change and fight that change. Sorry about that. I had another technical difficulty. My iPhone storage got full. These things get full so fast. So to complete that part of that story, my daughter was born in 2003. You do the math, it's 2024, and I haven't touched that. And I share that because it's possible to make changes. It's possible to change the course of your life. It's possible to break chains, but you got to break habits. You got to break the habits that cause that. You got to step back for a moment and look and realize where that problem is coming from. And if you have to remove yourself from people or whatever the case is, loved ones or anybody, it's for the best. Not everybody has the best intentions for you. Not everybody wants to see you win. And that's just the reality of it. That's just people in general. You have some people in society that actually lift up people. But then you got that percent of society that if they're down and they're in something, they want to pull you in there with them. Because then they feel better about themselves. Because there's somebody else participating in what they're going through. Do I miss those people? Yeah. But I love my family too much. I love myself too much to fall down that path, and I won't do it. And it's funny, even through that time after I broke from that, other people have tried to come in and be like, hey, here you go, brother, look, just have a good time. And then that thought comes in your head like, hey man, I've done this so far. And then you kind of forget, hey, I made that promise, that commitment. It starts to shake a little bit, that foundation you have. It's like, and that's when you got to dig deep and be like, nah, bro, I can't do that. At times you'll feel like you have all those little monitos on your shoulder and be like, and all of them just screaming at you. But you got to stay focused. You got to just chime it out and just say, hey, you know what? I can do this. So if you're struggling with anything or, there's something that you need to change, it's possible. You can do it. I'm rooting for you. Like I said, I look back on that now and I look at that as a testimony. I look at that as the power of someone making a change in their life. Yes, it comes from above. Like I said, I'm not here to preach to people, whatever the case is, but that's what it took for me to change. Am I the perfect person? No. But it set the course of my life. that little change helped me change other areas. It helped me change, like I said, with the brows and the tattoos. You know, I know I say that a lot, but it's true. You know, I'll go to like Walmart and stuff like that, and it's like the older generation, not the young ones, because all of them now, they're all tattooed. It's some kind of fad. But there was a point in time where tattoos weren't cool. They weren't the hip thing. Now everybody's got them, you know. They walk up and look at my sleeve. So I got to work hard. So I got to prove to people that I'm not a menace to society. I'm not a thug or anything like that. So the moment I walk into Walmart, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Great. Can you tell me where the apples are at? Over there? Fantastic. You look lovely, by the way. Hope you have a blessed day. So I got to really do that. And yeah, it's hard. You know, sometimes you just don't want to do that. You know, you don't want to be all the chippy person in there. You just want to just walk in, get your stuff like that. But I'm always alert to my surroundings, and I can see when I make someone uncomfortable. And other people will be like, oh, well, that's them. You got to be you. No, I mean, we got to respect all the age groups, whether it be these little trendy kids with all the tattoos and the fad stuff, or, you know, the Generation X, like me, where, you know, the tattoos had a different meaning, or the older ones that actually think, hey, you know what, people with tattoos are bad. We got to respect that. I mean, you don't have to, but if we want to be better humans, we have to put that into our head and think about it, at least be a little human. The same, you can use this in any format. You can use it for changing something that you have, or in a business. You know, if we have a photography business. And when we first started, I was all over the place. You know, this boom, 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 this and that. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on this area. I got to change this about me. I'm going to focus on this area. I got to change this about me. We're dealing with quinceañeras and we're dealing with families, so I got to step out and I got to be like, hey, you know what? Make myself more approachable. When I'm at events, I can't be mean mugging people. So I try harder. I'll go to the abuelitas, I'll be out there dancing, I'll have the gimbal and I'm in the middle of the dance floor, dancing the cumbias and stuff like that. Because it breaks those barriers. It allows us to tear down those walls between us so they can feel comfortable. So when I'm shooting video, they're not worried about who's the guy with the tattoos. So I know it's a long message, but hopefully someone else hears it. I know I hear it. I'm reminded of it. These videos, like I said, it just takes me back and it reaffirms who I am as a man. It reaffirms me as a husband. It reaffirms me as a friend, a brother, a son. Just puts things into perspective. So hopefully this was for you. Like I said, it's always for me. I thank you for your time today. Thank you for bearing with all the little difficulties, the iPhone storage. You know, they went to court. They put them in court today. I'm interested in seeing how that goes. They're calling them a monopoly, a powerhouse. And hopefully they do something about the storage stuff, because that stuff just goes, you can't even record like a 2-minute video. Anyways, so tomorrow's Friday. I hope you can join us tomorrow. And I hope you have a blessed night. And thank you for listening to me today. Deuces.